One thing I thought was important to touch on, and a lot of confusion around, was like sort of 2% inflation, and a lot of people sort of drew conclusions far too quickly as to where that's going and what effects that's going to have. Some people thought the 2% inflation was going directly to ƒractally, the company, not the sort of prime fractal. Dan, did you want to touch a bit more on how the 2% is going to the relay, and inflation isn't effectively inflation until it reaches circulation, and so what how much of that inflation might actually go into circulation, under what conditions, which is done on respect and stuff like that. And then again, you've got your hodling Rex pool as well. Did you want to?
So let me talk about the structure of mutual respect and how ƒractally incentivizes liquidity without creating a collective investment scheme and a liquidity provider. So typically when you put money into a Bancor relay, you get shares in the pool. And then as things go back and forth, you earn the trading fees. So I didn't want any fractal or any or EOS to actually end up being owner of shares in a liquidity pool, and then the community having to make decisions about when to remove or add liquidity when another community or another token starts inflating in ways or is hacked or whatnot. So instead of saying we're going to buy X amount of liquidity, I wanted to rent liquidity from speculators that want to own a 50-50 balance. And I want to get more people putting money into the liquidity pools instead of just EOS putting 2% into the pool. It's paying people to put their money into the liquidity pool. So it's like the difference between the size of house you can buy versus the size of house you can rent. If you're renting liquidity, then you can get a lot more liquidity than if you're directly buying it. And it transfers the risk. The renter is not taking the market risk, it's taking a defined risk, the inflation. So now we've got incentive for people to stake EOS in the liquidity provider between the governance and the EOS token. That's going to bring more EOS in and lock it up. And it's more or less staking rewards for people that want to be 50-50. Now, worst case scenario, everyone who earns the governance token decides they're going to immediately sell it into EOS. Okay, well then it's as if you're using EOS directly to pay everyone. And the liquidity providers are going to, they know that they're going to get diluted constantly, and that the income that they're getting from the networks offsetting their losses. I don't think that worst case is going to be the actual outcome. But so this inflation is not going to ƒractally, and it's not going directly to the participants in the governance. It's going to the people who provide liquidity to the people who are participating in the governance by owning both EOS and the governance token. So it's like you're staked 50% EOS and 50% governance token. And if you stake for 6 days, you're getting part of this 2% inflation. So it should be locking up more EOS and amplifying the economic impact of the governance token. So, and then the plan would be to have the main governance fractal use some of its inflation to subsidize liquidity to all the other fractals out there, according to the governance process. And so the liquidity just flows down through all the relays by subsidizing it, which when it does that, even more tokens get locked up as these fractals spawn. So the entire model was designed from top to bottom to maximize the value to the EOS token holders and the impact of the inflation, and to make sure that we maximize the number of people evaluating the projects, not just evaluating the contributions people have already made.